Transformers, more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the
Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy. This is one of the Galactic Odyssey collections, you can just make it out on the top of there, and this is the Micromasters collection. So as you can see, it's a nice small box, and we've got something slightly different at the front, which again I do like. So what we're going to do with this video, we're going to unbox them live in a second, have a look at everything that comes inside them. We're going to do some comparisons with the ones in there and some of the G1 original figures themselves. And also we'll do some comparisons with how the G1s were sold, because some of them inside here were individual members of teams like this, or they were part of combining teams like this. All will be revealed inside this little box right now. Before we get started, I'd like to thank Robot Recruits, because this was on offer in their Black Friday sale. That's where I purchased it from, and they got it to me nice and quickly. So as I've said, it's a nice small box. There should be 6 Micromasters in here. 3 of them are Autobots, 3 of them are Decepticons, and a couple of them, 2 of them, are new characters. So let's have a look what's inside. And I've not even seen, wow, I was just about to say I've not seen this in hand or anywhere. I've not seen any video on it, and I'm only lucky enough to own one of the other Galactic Odyssey sets, which was of course Punch and Barricade, and I was hoping, as you can see there, that we've got this beautiful inside to this box. Wow, so we've got the instructions, which shouldn't be very difficult to follow because they are all of course Micromasters. We've got like another, I suppose, collector's card, which is again looking brilliant. These are so good, it's making me wish that I had the rest of them now. And we've got of course the safety thing. I'm just going to get rid of that, and there we go. Inside you can see again more fantastic artwork, and I was kind of hoping that I'd just be able to pop these out and do all this in one take, but what I'm going to do, save you guys the agony of seeing me try to cut these out, I'm going to quickly set them free from here and come straight back to you. Here we go guys, so they are now set free from their plastic casing, and I'll be really honest with you, these look really good, and I'll show you a couple of the reasons why. I'm going to start with this guy on the far left. This is Windstorm, and he is a new character completely. So this guy didn't have a G1 figure, and what you can see there, that just inside the shoulder there's a ball and socket joint, so there's loads of articulation in the arms. There's also the same, you can just see there, inside at the top of the hip, so this applies to them all. So there is loads. You've got the knee bends on them all as well. But the other cool thing what you've got, and again I've just realized and worked this out, is you've got a waist swivel. And the reason for the waist swivel is if you close the legs together, these actually look a little bit like cannons now. And then what's hidden under the hood, you've got a fold out 5mm peg, like so. This will then fit in any of your deluxe, leader class, whatever figures from, you know, any toy line, as long as you've got a 5mm peg, and you can actually make some cannons or some weapons out of them all. So I think that's brilliant, and I'm going to show you a few examples of some of them a bit later on. Let's go along, move along with all these characters then. So the next one is Fireguard, and that's this particular guy. His G1 version of himself was this. You can see much more detailed, same sort of homage to it though. And if we spin it around at the back, we've got this additional part here, because again this guy can actually be a weapon, which we're going to see in a second as well. So lovely little homage to this guy there. And funnily enough, as I say, the G1 name was called Wheelblaze, so they've changed that for some reason. So G1 was Wheelblaze, and this guy's name is now Fireguard, obviously due to some copyrights. Now we're going to look at Road Burner, and Road Burner, ironically enough, well, good, funnily enough, has the same name. So they haven't managed to change his name. This is the newer one, much more heavy duty, much more detail. You see you've got this bit at the back. I'm going to be attaching this bit in a second, but let's have a look at this. You can see again clearly there now the ball and socket joints in there, and there's far more detail on this particular character. What we've got under here is slots there, and what we need to do now, this was the only accessory that came inside the packet, and we're going to basically slot this under here, and it's going to fit like a, let me make sure I get this right, slot this into the holes there, and then it'll turn around, and you've got the little cutouts there, and it'll rest on the top there. There we go. So you've got this protruding out the back, and again, as I mentioned with the first guy, that can be a handle, and I'm going to show you how these all combine as well as we go through the video. Now the next guy for me is really interesting, and he's called here, he's now known as Runner, but he does have a G1 figure. And for those of you who've watched this channel or seen my videos, does this guy ring a bell to you? This is the original G1 version of him. Now, as you can see, very similar, brilliant homage to him, but this guy's G1 name was, believe it or not, Barricade. Yep, this is the G1 Barricade. Absolutely nothing like, of course, a police car that we've seen in the live action movies, but this is the original one, and for obvious reasons they couldn't really call this guy Barricade, especially not in the War for Cybertron trilogy, because there already is one. So as you can see there, full articulation again, lovely bit of detail, great figure. Moving over, we've now got Motorhead, and he's got the same name as his original G1, which was here. Again, brilliant homage, nice purple body, yellow car, black windows, but again there's that tab at the back. Now what I want to show you quickly is these guys were, as I say, the G1 guys. I haven't got a sealed example, but they were known as the Race Track Patrol, and you can see right there they are. And funnily enough, all of these figures that I'm showing you now, the original G1s, originally came out in 1990. Moving over to the final guy, which is Sting Racer, and he's a new character as well. Completely new character. Well, not new character, new figure. And again, this is very similar to Windstorm at the end. And these guys, if I'm being honest, remind me, as you'll see in a second, when we come back and they're in their alternate modes, they remind me a lot of these, although they're not officially these. These were the Autobots Hot Rod Patrol. So as you can see, they do look a lot like them, but there's no connection to them at all inside any of this or what I can find on TF Wiki. Right, there they are. What we're going to do now, we're going to come back and they're going to be all in their alternate modes. So we're back and they're in their alternate modes. Quick apologies for not doing it on camera. For those of you who want to see the transformation process, I'll be uploading an additional video shortly. And to be honest, although they're quite small and simple, the transformation process is quite tricky, very intricate, and it would definitely make this video far longer than it actually needs to be. What I'm going to do first and foremost though, I'm going to move these two Autobots over here and the two Decepticons over here. And just before I switched to the alternate modes, I was mentioning that these reminded me of the Hot Rod Patrol. And now they're in their alternate modes, you will be able to see exactly what I'm talking about there. Very, very similar to them, just obviously different car bodies, but they've got the same, I suppose, details on them. But yeah, lovely. One thing to be aware of when I was transforming this guy, this whole front part just came out of there much easier than I think that it should have done, to be honest. Moving on then, so these are the interesting guys. So this is Fireguard and this is Roadburner. Now in G1 his name was Wheelblaze and Roadburner was exactly the same, and in G1 unfortunately this bit is missing. You were able to do these, so these were like combining Micromasters. They were brilliant. So with this you can do exactly the same. All we need to do now is fold down this bit like so. You can see there's a huge cutout there, and then these will combine brilliantly. And it's just a little bit bigger, and these came, as I say, in packs of 6, and these were known as the Metro Squad. And as you can see, they are there. And the beauty of this, you could also mix and match them all, which it's showing there as well. So with the other combining Micromasters that you've got in the War for Cybertron trilogy, they will do exactly the same. The other good thing though that I mentioned is that these handles here, they can turn into handles. They're 5mm ports. So what we can do, and I'm going to show you this particular part anyway, we're going to fold this down out from underneath there, and then we can disconnect this ever so slightly, and we can do the waist tilt I was on about, sorry, the waist swivel it all the way around. I'm just going to reconnect the front bit to it, because as you can see, and as I said, they do pop apart quite easily, to be honest. Let's just sink everything back in and fold these front bits up, join the leg bits together, and as I say, this now looks a little bit like a cannon, shall we say. I'm just going to leave that door there, to be honest, because all I need to be able to do is I'm going to use side swipe. I'm going to take out this particular gun, and you can now, he's got typically. I've not done this yet, so let's see if it goes in. There you go. So you've now got like a twin cannon working there for windstorm. But then you can go one better with the larger ones. You can then of course turn this around, and then you've got a giant. Is this going to fit in? Let's try leaning over. My giant like rocket launcher, bazooka, whatever. It's going to take a bit of time to get him counterbalanced, shall we say. But there you go. You can really power up these deluxe figures. So although they are very basic and very simple Micromasters, the fact that you can do so much more with them is brilliant. Let's carry on very quickly then with the Decepticons. So this is the original Barricade. This is obviously now known as Runner. Very similar, just quite a bit more detail. Let's keep him there. And then we've got Motorhead, who's got the same name. There we go, as this particular guy. And then, as I've mentioned, very similar to the new guy Windstorm. Sting Racer didn't have a G1 version, but again, if I wanted to, you could do the same. We could fold that out there, turn this into a gun as well, so you'd separate it at the back. You can do the waist swivel like so, and then it's up to you how you want to do it, to be honest. Let's with this one, let's take it back this way. You can have it firing out, you can have it wherever you want. It's up to you. All this moves and spins around, folds up and down. Some of them I've seen like that and popped on people's shoulders, etc. To be honest, let's see if we can do that then. Let's see if we can go turn that around. I'm going to now pop this out and then see if I can mount this on the back of Sideswipe's weapon there. Can I do it? Yep, you can. And I'm just literally making this up as I go along, totally winging it, but it's working. And I wanted to show you, just I suppose totally off the cuff, how much fun that these can be. And it is such a shame that they're not going to be making any more. But one last thing I think I should show you, just in case you did want to see it, was this particular card again, and there was some writing on it. So if I turn this around here, focus, in fact I'm going to move it because obviously loads of different languages, lots of people from different countries read and watch my channel. So all you've got to do is press pause when it gets to your particular language, and then of course you can then read that for yourself. Okay guys, there you go. Very fun, to be honest, very fun, and beautiful. A great little set. Nice to have a couple of little new characters, even though they're very similar in my opinion to the others. So I hope you enjoyed looking at them. I hope it helps you with your decision if you wanted some yourself, and keep your ideas and suggestions coming forward, and of course please take care. Thanks for watching. Like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe.